Hey, what's up guys? Chad here with Greenlight Shooting, and welcome to this new discussion video. So you guys really seem to be enjoying these. If you don't know what the discussion videos are about, essentially I take kind of a prompt from the gun world and it's like a gray area prompt, right? So something that's not black and white, something we can really discuss, and then I let you know my thoughts on it, my opinions, and then down in the comments below you let me know what you think, whether you think I'm crazy, whether you agree, whether you disagree, what your opinions are on the whole thing, and we just, everyone starts adding comments on comments and comments, and we get a good discussion going. So that's kind of the point. Before we jump into this discussion topic, I do want to point out that I'm wearing that black GLS Gear Learn, Share, Evolve hoodie. I showed this off last week, and I'm just digging this hoodie, man. I'm really excited about it. And then on top of that is this GLS crosshair hat. Now this is new, this isn't on the store yet, but I've been stoked on it. There's a couple more tweaks I need to work out with it, but I'm really excited about it. If you guys dig it, if you want to see it in the store, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make sure to get it out as soon as possible. If you want to see some more designs, head over to glsgear.com or just click on that card right up there. So let's dive into our discussion prompt for the week. Today we are talking about what is the best caliber for concealed carry. Now, this is going to be super highly debated. I think people feel really strongly about their opinions on this topic, and I think that's something that's going to make this discussion really interesting. I do want to point out, I want this video to really help those people who are, just kind of getting into concealed carry, who haven't quite figured it out for themselves. As all you experienced shooters know out there, the best caliber is the caliber you train with, straight up. If you're a 44 mag guy, but that's all you train with, you run drills with it every day, then that's going to be the best caliber for you. I want to make this video beneficial to people who are just kind of getting into the concealed world and maybe not sure where to start and stuff like that. So I want to kind of lay out my opinions on all the different kind of standard calibers, and I want you guys to kind of be thinking of the same. So let's dive in. Now you have two kind of base categories in your handguns, right? You have semi-automatic and you have revolver. So in the semi-automatic, your general, just kind of standard calibers that we'll be talking about today are starting from small, going to big, is 22 long rifle, 380 ACP, 9mm, 40, and 45 ACP. And then over in the revolvers, we'll be talking about 38 special, 357 mag, 44 mag, 45 long Colt, probably end it there. I mean, obviously there's just tons of other calibers out there, but those are the general ones you're gonna see, most kind of readily available. One other thing is when I'm evaluating these different calibers, I'm taking into consideration a couple things. First, I'm taking into consideration kind of the punch that it packs, right? Like, a big bullet traveling fast is obviously gonna pack a lot more punch to the bad guy than a small bullet flying really slow. So the thing you need to balance with that, though, is, for one, capacity. If it's a bigger round, you're going to be able to fit less rounds in the same size gun. Another thing you want to think about is just the manageability of it. Manageability, is that a word? How well it can be managed? So it's just how well it can be managed, right? Like the recoil, the size of the gun in general, stuff like that. So those are the big points I'm going to be thinking about. There are obviously tons of ballistic charts out there. Definitely go Google all that, check that all out. But I'm going to be talking kind of from personal experience here. So let's start on the semi-auto side, on the big side, so 45 ACP. Now I've carried a 45 for a long time. I've carried a Springfield XDS 45. I've made a lot of videos on it, and I really do like the gun. But I'm gonna be honest, recently, I think I've decided it's not the gun for me. There's a couple of reasons behind that. One, and the big one, is just that there's too much recoil. It's a small gun, it's a light gun. Generally speaking, that's gonna be the case when it's a carry gun. And it's a big round, man. I mean, there's a lot of recoil to manage, and it only does hold up to 6 rounds. So capacity is kind of in my head, it's not a big deal, but the recoil is my big thing. I don't think that I could get back onto target reliably enough for a follow-up shot really quickly. One of the big reasons is my hands get really sweaty, and I think in a really high stress situation, my hands would just be soaked, right? And it's not like I'm gonna pull that gun and have a perfect stance and grip and everything like that. No, it's gonna be, super just all over the place. And I think that I'm gonna get one shot and I'm not gonna be able to come back with a follow-up shot on it. I've been really kind of reconsidering my 45 options lately, so I'm gonna throw 45 out the window in this discussion. Next up, we've got 40. Now 40, I hate. let me clarify. I respect the round. I think it's certainly a good, well-researched round. But for me personally, it's way too snappy. If you've shot a 40 before, you know what I'm talking about. And if it's not something that you're training with all the time, every single day, it kind of takes you out. And it's the same thing, sweaty hands. I don't think that I could comfortably work with the 40. So 40's out the window for me. Next up is 9mm. Now, in the 9mm world, I think this is kind of the perfect balance, at least for me. You're getting a lot of capacity. You're getting, a really good round. With technology kind of advancing and coming as far as it has, the 9mm is an awesome round. It packs a ton of punch, and like I said, you're getting a lot of capacity, and the recoil is very, very manageable. It's something that I feel comfortable with. It's something that I've shot a ton with, and I think that I could reliably get back on target for follow-up shots with a 9mm. I'm keeping 9mm in the game. I really do like that caliber. Stepping down to the 380 ACP. Now this is kind of a big caliber for that concealed carry section. A lot of guns have been made around this caliber, and people really like this. Now, I do like the 380. I think it's a great round, and I like that it's small, and I like that you can get high capacity with it, and I like that the guns can be extremely small with the 380. The reason that I'm gonna throw it out is because I'd rather have a 9 than a 380. They're so close in rounds, and the big difference to me is 9mm is much more affordable and readily available, which means I can practice more and train more with my 9mm than I can my 380. Now, last but not least, in the semi-auto world, I want to talk about the 22 long rifle. This caliber gets such a negative reputation in kind of the self-defense world because, it's a small round and stuff like that. But I think there's a place for it that many people overlook. So when I worked at a gun store, I managed a gun store for years, and a lot of times I'd have people coming in, they'd be like middle-aged guys or something, and they were looking for a first gun or, a defensive gun for like their mom, like their 75 or 80-year-old mom who lives by herself, and she wants a gun, and the kids want her to have a gun in the house. And, people are telling them, well, don't get her a 22 long rifle because it's not gonna do her any good. Well, here's the truth. I mean, you hand her a bigger gun, you hand her a 45 ACP, she hasn't shot since she was 12. She shoots one round and the thing's gonna jump out of her hand and she's never gonna be back on target. She'll never go to the range to practice with it. I think you put a 22 in her hand, she's gonna be able to, practice with it a couple times and feel confident enough to at least get some shots downrange. If it ever came down to it, it's 10 rounds of 22. She's going to be able to keep it in her hand. She's going to be able to manage the recoil. And I think that there is certainly a place for 22 long rifle in the defensive world. Same thing goes for my wife. She's awesome. She's a great shot with just about any caliber, but she's most comfortable with her Ruger SR22. She loves to train with it. She trains with it often, and it's just her gun of choice. And in a defensive scenario, it's got 10 rounds. I guarantee that she would have a much higher kind of hit rate, accuracy rate, and speed of that accuracy rate with that gun than her 380 or 9mm or anything like that. So I certainly think there's a space for 22 long rifle in the defensive world. That being said, personally for me, I'm gonna take the 9mm over the 22. It's just because it's something I'm comfortable with and I'm trained with. So I'm gonna stick with that 9. Now let's go over to the revolver category. Starting out, we've got the 38 Special. Fantastic round. So on the revolver side of things, start out on a 38 Special. I think that's a great round. I really do. I think 38 Specials are, they're very manageable. The recoil is very manageable. They're readily available. They're easy to train with, stuff like that. I think it's a good round. A lot of people will say that maybe it doesn't pack enough punch for them. They want to go with that 357. A nice alternative is to be able to take a 357 revolver and use 38 Specials in it, kind of at the range, and work your way up to that 357. My one caveat to that is that, if you're going to be shooting a 357 especially, I would personally want a heavy revolver, a steel revolver, something like that. I wouldn't want one of those air light guns just because there's so much recoil there. But if you've got a good heavy frame on there, yeah, they're fantastic rounds. I think anything above a 357 is going to fall into that too much recoil for me. You get into your 44 mags, your 45 long Colts and stuff like that, and it's just going to be, it's a little too much for me to handle. I don't feel comfortable that I could get back on target with follow-up shots fast enough. So those are kind of my thoughts. I know it was a little jumbled. There was a lot to talk about and not very much time. So my overall takeaway from this is that the 9mm is my personal choice for the best caliber for concealed carry. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Why? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Like I said, I think this is going to be a highly debated topic, and I'm excited to read you guys' comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, please like it. Please share it if you think someone else out there might enjoy it or learn something from it. Subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot more videos coming as always. And yeah, man, we'll see you on the next video for green light shooting. Thanks so much for watching. It's going to be low recoil. It's going to be really easy to manage. So it kind of works